How are you feeling right now? How do you feel about the situation? Do you feel like you're thriving, or maybe you're just surviving? What I have with me today is absolutely amazing guest, Dr. Jason Le Masurier, and I'm so excited to introduce you to him. Let me just get him on board because Jason is all the way in Ireland, and I must say, sometimes, as you know, technology play with settings, that would be great. But in the meantime, I would like to welcome those who are watching us right now. If you have any questions, please do ask us. It could be anything about resilience. It could be about you thriving during this situation, or it could be anything that maybe right now is kind of on your mind and you don't know how to deal with that. And I can see Howard is joining us. Hi, Howard. How are you today? Please let us know how are you feeling. And also we have Maria with us. Hi, Maria as well. How are you doing? I hope you were getting lots of value from latest shows. I can see you were really regular and you were doing lots of commenting as well. It is fabulous to see. So I wonder, what do you think about resilience? What do you think about how to stay strong during this situation? How can we thrive? What is your comment? You're unmuted. Not sure. But we also have Vinit and Pat. I wonder, guys, if you could let us know where actually are you based. Would be really wonderful to know where you're based, what you're after today, and how was your day so far? What you were doing. Have you been thriving so far, or have you been just surviving? Right? As you can see, we are facing a little technology issues here, and it happens. Again, it's all about lessons, and it's about how do we deal with situations like that and what we're going to do about that. So I'm really grateful that actually at least I can be live with you. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Let me just double check Jason once more. Jason, can you hear us? What I learned so far and what we are implementing with my clients in this situation of lockdown, and I always say it's not about only this situation. It could be about any other situation, right? It could be about other pandemic situations. It could be about other crisis situations. And if you remember, back in 2008, there was another crisis and everything went down again. And people were as well panicking and they didn't know how to survive. The same happens right now. And I must say what's important to remember that we're not alone in this situation, which is very, very common that people start panicking about themselves. They start panicking about their families, their income, their health, and very often people forget about others. But I must say, it is about uniting right now. It is about taking care of each other. It is about remembering that other people are out there and they also need help. So what we were doing with some of my clients, it's really remarkable. We use this time to actually work on themselves, right? This is the time when actually you can take some lessons from your past. And I'm sure, even if right now you spend a minute or two and you will think about lessons from your previous experiences in your life. Think about the time when something did not go right. Think about the time when it was really challenging. When you didn't know how to get out of the situation, when you didn't know how to deal with the situation. Think about that time. And think to yourself, just analyze, right? Let's create that formula, right? I call it a formula to success. What formula have you used in order to get out of that situation? What did you do? What actions have helped you back then? Right? Because what you will notice as you will go through the life, that circumstances, they change. Situations surely change. Absolutely. You become better. You become stronger. And it's really important to remember that whatever happened to you in the past, that was, let's call it a test. Let's call it practice. Let's call it a little playground where actually you were practicing how to survive. You were practicing how to thrive. Right? And if you think about it that way, in that case, it gets so much easier. So spend a minute or two just thinking about those situations and write them down. Whilst you're doing that, And I want you to really think about those situations. Really think about those situations, circumstances, events, maybe issues with people, maybe breakups, maybe financial challenges, whatever you can think of. Think about those situations. Write them down, right? And whilst you will do that, I will actually connect with Jason again over the phone, and I will see how he's getting on with connecting with us. As you can tell, and by the way, he's over here, right? So spend this time writing situations down, and I'll let Jason into our studio. Hello, Jason. Can you hear me? I want to challenge you here. As you're writing those situations, when you already were struggling, when you already had difficulties, right? As you are connecting with yourself and going through those experiences, think to yourself, what exactly was helping you to get through? Was it your mindset? Was it you had a goal, or maybe you had a mission? What exactly was helping you through those situations, right? What have you learned during those experiences, right? So if you were writing down, that's great. If you didn't, please take this time. All right. Because what we found out with my clients, and also studies show, when you write situations down, then your brain works so much better. Right? Let's see what we can do about that, right? And I like the comments here. So Howard here is saying this 1 p.m. show is part of my daily routine now, if I can make it. I love it, Howard. Thank you so much. Also, there is another one at 7 a.m. each morning. I find them very helpful at this crazy time. Howard, this is so good to hear. And that's the idea of doing these shows. And that's why we do this, because just to help you, to inspire you, to motivate people. We do it because we want to help those who are right now struggling. And if not struggling, in that case, we want to give the extra kick of motivation. Right? And we have a nice comment here from Vinit as well. Vinit Ambad, I'm from Mumbai, India. It's so good to see we're international. This is so good. Would like to ask how to deal with anxiety during this COVID period and how different the post-COVID world will be. You know, Vinit, this is a really good question. And we can discuss this with Jason as well during the show. So, and if we will not be able to connect with Jason because we're experiencing a few issues here with the connection, you know, everybody's right now in this technology world. So let's see if this will work now. Jason, can you hear me now? Maria says here, yes, definitely routines are important, and 1 p.m. is mine too. And this is so beautiful to see. Thank you so much for saying that. I must say, being here regularly and posting questions or posting your thank yous and your gratitude is really valuable. Valuable not only to me to see whether it is important to you, whether it is serving you, but also, of course, and surely valuable to guests, because they are coming onto this show, they're sharing their wisdom, they're sharing the knowledge, what they have and expertise, and to have you guys being so grateful, it's really, really important. So thank you so much for joining us. Jason, can you hear me now? Not sure, because we can see you, and I guess you are trying to work out the sound. It's all right. In that case, as we say, we can always keep trying, we can always keep connecting, and it's absolutely fine. The thing is, challenges will always come into our lives. And we're always facing some situations, some challenges, some difficulties. It is about how do you deal with them, right? And this is really important. How do you deal with them? What do you do? Do you allow yourself to get stressed about this, or do you just let it go and you just do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, right? Because persistence is really, really important. Let me just double check the sound again. Jason, can you hear me now? No? All right. In that case, it's not a problem. Let's just keep trying to connect. As we said, right now, everybody crazily went absolutely mental on all these online meetings, workshops, and seminars and webinars. And right now, everybody is going into the virtual world. That, of course, will cause some difficulties, right? Like the other day, I think it was Sunday, the Zoom completely crashed. And I'm not sure if everybody was facing this issue, but I had my mastermind call on Sunday and we could not connect. And guess what we did? we went on Google Team and we connected there. So it just shows that there's always a solution, and I'm sure Jason will be able to connect with us in a minute. We'll just give him a call to see maybe we can bring him on a loudspeaker, and maybe we can do this remote session in that case. All right? Quick conversation with him. And as per the need question, I really like your question, Vinit. I think it's really important question, because let's start there. It's not only about post-COVID-19 time, right? It is about the after time in general. It is about what in general we can do about the situation, about ourselves, our life, about the relationship with the world, the relationship with the planet, the relationship with our social circle, right? Because all of this is crucially important, right? So can I just actually challenge you here a little bit? Because I know all this time, all these days, you were just relaxing and watching this show. But in order to grow all together, how about you thinking to yourself, who would I like to be after this lockdown? Right? Just think to yourself who you would like to be after the lockdown, what kind of a person you would like to be, what you would like to do, how you would like to come out of this situation. And in the meantime, I will call Jason and I'll see what we can do. All right? So take your time and think about who you would like to be after this post-COVID-19 situation, right? What kind of a person you would like to be. And I'm just calling Jason. So take a minute or two and write it down or think to yourself who you would like to be. Hi, Jason, can you hear me? That is great. We can see you on the screen, but we cannot hear you. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. If you just mute me on your laptop, or if you put your phone maybe next to your ear, so because when I speak, I can hear myself on the phone as well. So what we can do, I can put you on a loudspeaker on the phone, and then you can actually answer the questions through the video, at least like that. Would you like to try that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really.
In that case, we will do it this way. What can I say? Right. So right now we have Jason here with us on a loudspeaker. And we will have this remote session with Jason today, as you'll be watching me, but you'll be also hearing Jason. So Jason, welcome to the show, even though this will be a slightly remote, but I think what we're showing right now to the entire audience, that it is about how do you handle this situation. So Dr. Jason Le Masurier, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself. And I hope you're not too stressed about this situation.
No, I'm fine. It's just working out this new technology. I mean, Zoom's been working fine, so I don't know what's happening here. But since I've been panicking a bit trying to get this working, and then it's not. So I think we're back onto Google now.
Not a problem. What we can do right now is just to start the live show, because it's already been some time and I don't want our dear audience just to get bored. So let's do this way. What we have here is lovely comments from people, and we have a couple of questions. So I think it will be really wonderful, Jason, maybe if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about your journey and, how exactly your situation, your life-changing situation, because you have such a tremendous and wonderful, inspiring story. But if you could tell us how your situation actually impacted you in your life, and also how it helps you during this lockdown situation. Could you please tell us in a few words?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear anything you said then. What was the question?
Yeah, I guess the network is really, really bad today. The question is about how your brain injury situation, right, that catastrophe which you went through, how that is helping you to get through. Ooh.
Can you hear me on the
Let me just double check.
Can you hear me now or not?
I cannot hear you on the main screen, but I can hear you on the phone.
Right, okay.
So let me just, if you could come out of the studio, I will keep a loudspeaker in that case. That will be better.
Okay, so I'll leave the studio.
Yes.
We can just talk on the phone then.
Exactly. Yes, we will try to do it over the phone. That's right. Yes. So could you please tell us more about your story? You know, what exactly has happened and how that affected you and your life?
Well, it's affected my life hugely. At the time of my accident, I was a university lecturer in New Zealand, and I was traveling the world to conferences and giving presentations on my area of research, and my career was on a real high, and everything was going really well. And I just met my wife. We met 350 days before my accident.
Oh, wow.
So it was almost our first anniversary. We were 10 days away from our first anniversary when we met in Sydney. I was returning to New Zealand, and she was on the round-the-world trip. And I stopped off in Sydney for 24 hours, and in those 24 hours, I bumped into Liz, and we got to know each other for a short while, and then turned out she was coming to New Zealand on the next stop. So I insisted on picking her up at the airport when she arrived in New Zealand in Christchurch, and we then started our whirlwind romance for the next year. For the next 350 days, it was incredible.
Wow, this is remarkable.
So we carried on traveling. I was going to San Francisco soon after that. So she was going to America as well. So we met in San Francisco and had a great time there. And then she came back to Ireland because that's where she lives. And I came back to the UK and Ireland for the summer. So we were together and having a great time. And then my accident happened just after Christmas in January. We had a fantastic Christmas together with my 3 older children as well. I've got 3 older children. And it was brilliant. But by that stage, Liz was actually 3 months pregnant.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
So we'd already, during our roller coaster romance in that year, we decided that we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together, and we were such a perfect match, and everything was fantastic, and so Liz got pregnant, and we were planning our wedding to be very soon after the new year.
Wow.
But then on the 14th of January, I dropped Liz off at the airport. She was flying back to Ireland, and I dropped her off at the airport, and I just brought my kite-surfing gear with me. I said to Liz, I wouldn't go out in the wind like that. Pregnant, and we were planning our wedding.
Sorry, that was a bit of echo.
When I got down to the beach, there was quite a few other people out kite-surfing, so I thought I'd give it a go. And it was one of the biggest mistakes of my life, I suppose, because while I was on the beach, a gust of wind lifted me up about 20 feet in the air and dropped me on my head.
Oh, no. Wow.
So I was in the worst possible condition you could imagine. The thing that really saved my life is the fact that the Northwest Air Ambulance was based at Blackpool Airport, which was about half a mile away from where the accident happened.
Wow. So
the air ambulance came to me very quickly, and they got me into Preston Hospital for about 40 minutes after my accident. So they talk about the golden hour. When it comes to brain injuries, you have like an hour to get serious medical treatment, and I was in hospital 40 minutes after the accident, so I was inside the golden hour. But when I arrived there, they did an assessment. It's called Glasgow Coma Scale,
Yeah.
And I scored 3 out of 15, which is basically no response to any stimulus at all.
Wow.
And I've just been reading I've been reading recently about the other people with that level of injury, and there's a 95% mortality. So there was 95% chance I would have died.
Wow, this is incredible. I mean, when you get this news that you were having 95% of chance being dead, this is so life-changing. I mean, it's just one walk on the beach and the life changes completely. It just shows how short our life is and how much we should cherish every moment, how much we should value that we are healthy, those who can walk, they can walk, and that we are alive. Jason, this is remarkable. I mean, this is so life-changing. What happened?
It was, yeah. It changed my life completely. So I was then, fortunately, the surgeons managed to keep me alive in that first day, and then I spent the next 2 weeks in a coma.
Wow.
So nobody knew if I was going to come out of it or not. And then
Yes.
on the day, which was the first anniversary of our meeting, Liz, they were taking me off the medication that was keeping me in a coma, and they said to Liz, if he doesn't wake up today, he'll never wake up.
No way. Oh my God, I have goosebumps right now. I literally have goosebumps right now. I wonder what would those who are watching us right now, how would you feel if somebody tells you your loved one, the person whom you met exactly a year ago, today is the anniversary of you being together, and if your beloved person, if your other half doesn't wake up today from coma, he will never or she will never wake up. How would you feel? My God, Jason, this is just, it is heartbreaking. I really feel sorry for your girl. Wow.
Yes, I know. So I could feel Liz's anguish. Even though I was in a coma, somehow I managed to detect her absolute, she was just completely devastated, and her crying and her, it was just, I could tell somehow in my coma that she needed me.
Wow.
So I knew I had to give her some hope. So I somehow managed to move or do something that gave her some hope. But as I moved, I felt an arm and a leg lying in the bed next to me.
Oh wow!
And I thought that the doctors had put me in bed with a corpse. I just felt this dead body in bed with me, and I thought, why have they done that?
Wow!
And but it was actually me. You can imagine that there was half my body was basically dead as far as I was concerned, and I thought it was a body next to me, but it was me, and that was the first sign that I was not going to be dead. That Liz knew that I could come through this, but at that stage she'd already decided that whatever condition I was in, she would look after me for the rest of my life. So even if I was in a vegetative state, like Michael Schumacher, he had a very similar injury to me.
Yes.
But he obviously hasn't made the same recovery, and so he's in a vegetative state, and I could very well have ended up like that. But,
this is just
somehow.
Yeah. Sorry, we just have a bit of...
I came round. But then Liz still had 6 months of pregnancy left. So,
yes.
She's 3 months pregnant at this stage, but then she had to endure the roller coaster of me almost dying on several occasions before Jack was born.
Yeah.
At the beginning of June.
Wow.
So I was in a wheelchair at that stage. I was starting to recover somehow, and they wheeled me into the delivery suite, which he was in the same hospital as me. So he was born in the same hospital as me, so they wheeled me in, and when he was born, they gave it to me to hold, and
wow.
I could hardly use my arms at all, but somehow I managed to hold him. And,
Right.
I felt his little body experiencing the world for the first time like I'd done 6 months before.
That's right. Yes, exactly. Brand new person. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was at the same stage as me. When I came out of a coma, I was like a newborn, I suppose. And then really our lives have just tracked each other ever since. So I eventually managed to leave the hospital or rehab 2 years after my accident.
Wow.
Well, 18 months. 18 months after my accident, I managed to leave hospital.
Yeah.
And it's been a big journey for all of us, for Liz and me. And I had another brain injury when I fell out of the wheelchair in the hospital.
So there were two of them. This is shocking. This is really shocking. I mean, how many people have something challenging in their lives and they think that's it, this is my rock bottom. This is the lowest of the lowest. And I don't know how I can get out of that. And then not only you spend in a coma 2 weeks whilst your girlfriend is pregnant. She's on 3 months of her pregnancy. You just met a year ago. So your life is like having this remarkable wave of everything is amazing. And then boom, you have brain injury. And then not only that, whilst you are there in a hospital within 2 years, you fall out of the wheelchair and you have another brain injury.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow, this is remarkable.
Operations and hydrocephalus, which is pressure in the brain, and that nearly killed me as well. So
Wow.
they drilled boreholes in my head to let the pressure off.
Right, I see.
But,
I see.
Eventually, I managed to survive the NHS. I mean, NHS are brilliant, and they saved my life. But at the same time, accidents happen, and I got infections. I fell out of the wheelchair. But anyway, before they let me and Liz leave that environment, the doctor took us into the room and said to us, he said, "You're never going to surf or ski or sail." He knew all the things I loved doing. He knew what my life revolved around. But he said, "You just got to accept the fact that you'll never walk again."
And never walk again. Wow.
He told me the physios had tried to work with me and get me walking, and they hadn't managed. So in those 2 years in hospital, they hadn't managed to get me walking.
Right.
So the physios had written me off, basically saying he'll never walk again, and the doctor told us this just before we left hospital.
Wow, that's shocking. I mean, what would you do? I mean, I really wonder right now, those who are watching us right now, those who are with us right now, what would you do if somebody would tell you, you will never walk again? And let's consider that right now you have already a baby born with you. You are with your girlfriend for approximately 3 years. Is it right? Were you for about 3 years during that time?
Sorry, I've just switched on again now. I don't know if you can hear me now or not.
Let me just double check. Let me just let you into the studio and see if we can. Yeah, can you say something so I can check if we can hear you? No, Jason, we can see you on the screen, but we cannot hear you. And if I make this sound louder, it will create a wave, I think. Yeah.
So, can I keep talking on here and you can hear me there or not?
It creates a wave. If you could mute yourself, it would be easier because otherwise it creates a wave because we have two of you, like on the phone and also on the screen. Or maybe if you go off the screen because I cannot hear you on the screen yet.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll one more thing.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is what happens when we are on air and also there. So if you just drop the image. Yeah.
Okay, and there. So I'm off again.
There we go. Yeah. So what Jason was saying that after 2 years being in a hospital, he was told that he will never walk again. He will never able to surf again. He will never able to play any sport games or even just living normal life. I mean, how would you feel about that? And right now we're talking about being in a lockdown, right? Just being in a lockdown, not being able to go outside. I mean, it's not life sentence, right? But here Jason was told after being already for 2 years in a hospital that he will never walk again. Jason, how did you manage to actually walk again? Because I do know that right now you walk, right?
Yes, sure. Look, when I left the hospital, I was in a wheelchair, but I met the new physio, a community physio, and I said to her when I first met her, I can walk, I know I can walk. So she said, well, stand up and let's see what you can do. So I actually stood up. I was holding onto a rail at the side where it was happening, and I managed to move my feet a couple of small steps. I just managed to swing. I think I was having to swing my leg right out, but I managed to hold onto the rail and actually swing my legs.
Right.
So once I'd done that, I knew, right, I'm going to get walking again. And so it was a long process, and I ended up with spasticity in my legs, which, causes your muscles to seize up, and I slowly, but at that stage as well, Jack was just learning to walk.
Right.
He was just a toddler, and he hadn't learned to walk at that stage, so I'm probably the only person, or one of the very few people in the world that can say I learned to walk with my son.
Oh my God, and this is so remarkable, Jason. I love that. I mean, how many people can say the same thing? I'm sure there are some people in the world who maybe, relearned how to speak with their child as well, maybe relearn how to write as well. And you are one of those remarkable people who actually relearned how to walk with your own son. I mean, this is remarkable. I never met anybody like that so far. You are the first person I ever know. And I wonder if anybody out of audience met people like that. Do you know anybody who learned to walk, apart of Jason, don't cheat, right? Apart of Jason, who actually learned how to walk with their own child? So let's stop complaining about the lockdown. Look, Jason was overcoming a brain injury which affected his body, which affected his way of living life in an absolutely normal pre-brain injury time and way, and now he's learning to walk with his child. Obviously not now, but back then you were learning how to walk with your own child at the same time. I love that. Does your son remember that? I mean, the chance is very little he will remember that. But are there any recallings of him remembering that?
Sorry, will you ask me a question? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yes. I was wondering, does Jack, your son, is he recalling the moments of you two learning how to walk together? Obviously, I appreciate it was when he was very little, and very rarely kids can remember those times. But maybe it was so remarkable, and he does remember.
Well, I think he probably has remembers because we told him that it happened. But
Right.
He might do is one of the most amazing times was that we were on the grass overlooking Morecambe Bay. We were living in Heysham at the time it happened, and when I came out of hospital, we were living in Heysham, and we actually were having a race. Liz was on the grass in front of us and encouraging us both on, saying,
Yes.
"Come on, have a race."
Yes.
And so we were both just tottering along as fast as we could, but obviously very, very slowly. And we were racing each other to be the first to reach Liz, who was there encouraging us on. So Liz has been incredible. She's, what she's been through is just unbelievable, and
Wow.
she still is amazing, and she still devotes herself to me and Jack. And if it wasn't for Liz, I wouldn't be here today. And she's still caring for me so much, and looking after my epilepsy and driving us everywhere because I don't drive anymore. And she just she's my rock. She's what's kept me going all this time. And yeah, she's just incredible.
I love that. I really love that. I mean, this is exactly what very often we forget about, right? We very often think about what happened to us and how self-pity we are right now, and we are in pain and something else has happened to us, and we keep talking about the issues and problems. But actually, there are people who were involved as well and affected. And in your case, Jason, it was Liz who actually was and still looks after you. And as you say, drives you around and deals not only with these consequences of brain injury, but also the epilepsy, and looks after Jack and helps you around. It is remarkable. And I think we always should remember that people in our lives are there for a certain time. Unfortunately, everybody will die. Right? And we have to remember that the life is very precious. So those people who are in our lives, whether for short time or for longer time, we need to treasure them, and we really need to thank them and be appreciative of them. Because if not them, most likely we will be not here as well. And I love how we have Jason here, a couple of beautiful comments. So Howard is saying that tech issues on this live show teach us an important lesson in life. Problems will happen. It is how we deal with them that counts. And this is so true. You see, you and I, Jason, we just managed to get onto the call, and you're still on the show, even though you're on the phone. And at the very end, we'll bring you back on the video so at least people can see you once more before you go. And Maria says, yes, Howard, it's how we deal with things and how we see those problems. What would you say about this, Jason? What's your opinion about how we should look at the issues and problems?
Sorry, I'm just trying to switch up.
Yes, I can see you on the screen, but I cannot hear you. But at least people can see you as well. So you can give us a wave so people can see you at least. Right. So, Jason, what would you say about the way, the perception of problems, how we should deal with problems, how we should deal with issues in life? What's your take is on whatever you face? I mean, you are such an incredible person. You learn how to walk again. You learn how to be completely brand new human being, right? But what would you say your master tips, your best tips about when you face a problem, when you face a challenge, and how to stay resilient, basically? What would be your top tips?
Well, I think I suppose the main thing is to never lose hope. I know there was a few times in the hospital when the doctors basically wrote me off, and that time when they said to Liz, if he doesn't wake up today, he'll never wake up. I mean, that was just, it completely took away all hope from Liz, and had no hope really was when the doctor told me I'd never walk again.
Yes.
So, those two times especially, they just basically took away all our hope and said, right, that's it, game over. So hope is so important, and that's probably the foundation of everything else, to have hope that you can actually do something. So once you've got hope, then it's a matter of determination and just, being tenacious and dogged and just staying right. I've taken one step, so how many more steps can I take?
Yes.
And then I've taken, lots of steps with Jack, and I can now walk. And then the physio, I wanted to try swimming, so she got me in the pool, and I actually started swimming, which was incredible as well.
Wow.
And then the final one, which I was still very poor balance, and I could stand up, but I couldn't really do much else. But I said to her, can I get back on my bike and learn to ride the bike again? And we went out 5 times on the bike with her basically walking alongside me and holding me up. I was leaning over to the left, and I couldn't balance on the left-hand side because that was my paralysed side. And she was walking on my left, holding me up, and I was moving the pedals but couldn't stay upright. And then the 5th or 6th time out, it suddenly clicked, and I was able to stay upright and pedal. I mean, the old saying, is you never forget how to ride a bike. And that was just exactly what it was for me, and somehow I had this deep memory somewhere in my damaged brain. There was something that remembered how to ride a bike. So once I tapped into that, once I rewired my brain to be able to, connect that part up again, that I actually started riding my bike, and then it was my physio, who I knew at that time that she did triathlons. So I thought, well, I can walk, I can swim, I can ride a bike. So I said, my next sort of goal or challenge was that I said, I'll do a triathlon with you.
No way, Jason. You're kidding? Oh my God, just for those who just joined us, and we have so many people here. We have Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. And Sherry actually says she compliments you in a beautiful way. She says, very strong person, Dr. Jason. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, darling, for saying that. And we have also Magda with us, Magdalena Bodilewska and Kaur as well. I cannot see all people, but that's as far as I can go. And we also have Niz actually with us. And, it's wonderful what Howard is saying here. I don't think it will be long before we see Howard and Maria show on YouTube. Well, that'll be an interesting show to make as well, actually. The most committed viewers. But those who just joined us, let me just rewind here the story of Jason a little bit. So Jason was with his amazing girl just for around about a year when he hit the trauma in his life, the biggest challenge in his life. He went for a walk on the beach, and he unfortunately got into a situation which brought him into having brain injury. He spent 2 years in a hospital. He was for 2 weeks in coma, and he was told, actually not him, but Liz, his girlfriend at the time, who was pregnant with their baby, was told, if Jason will not wake up today after 2 weeks of being in coma, he will never wake up. What would you do as a boyfriend or girlfriend of your partner? Liz never gave up, and she was with him. For 2 years, Jason was in a hospital. For 2 years, he was told he will never walk again, and he will never be able to swim or to cycle or to play any sports games. And guess what? Right now, Jason can cycle, and he can swim, and he can walk again. Jason, you are such a remarkable person. And right now, Jason is just about to tell us about him running a triathlon? Are you serious, Jason?
Yeah, also you were asking me about how do you get through these things, and I was saying about never lose hope.
Yes.
Which is the foundation that everything else comes from. And on the next thing from hope, the next level up is to have goals. So hope is the foundation, and then goals are the targets, or where do you think you can go? And so when I came out of the hospital, it was being able to take a few steps, and then my goal was to learn to walk before Jack. So we were sort of trying to race each other to learn to walk first. And so once I got that, then I was still in the wheelchair, but I said to Liz, I want to walk down the aisle on our wedding day.
Oh,
so that was
wow.
our next big goal, was to actually be able to, I could have been to the wheelchair and pushed up the aisle, but I said, no way, I'm never going to do that. So that was my huge goal then at that stage, was to walk down the aisle with Liz.
Wow.
And on the day of the wedding, we actually walked. Well, we were obviously stood at the front of the church. Well, I was stood at the front. Liz came in, and then as we were walking back down the aisle, to leave, to go towards the door, I actually left her behind and actually almost jogged.
No way.
I think it's pretty unconventional to to get married at the front of the church and then run away from your bride on the way out of the church.
No, that definitely doesn't happen very often, that's for sure. But I guess when you were told you will never walk again, and you set up for yourself such a big goal to walk on your wedding day down the aisle, I mean, of course you would run. I would run away as well. Of course, I would just run out of happiness. I will do my little dance.
Yeah, well, I got a huge round of applause because everyone, and obviously everyone else in the church, all our friends and family, had been through that journey together. You know, they all knew what we'd been through, and they've been through it all together with us. And so when I was able to jog out of the church, everyone thought that was fantastic, and I was back, and I was able to not only walk but actually jog again. So that was a huge highlight and achieving another big goal. But then, as I say, the physio still had to carry on. I still had my left arm still wasn't working, and I was still very wobbly and not fully walking properly. But then, as I say, once I'd relearned to walk and swim and ride a bike, then my next goal I set for myself was to do a triathlon.
Yes. Wow.
And so 5 years after he told us I'd never walk again, I went back to the doctor who said that and asked him to sponsor me to do a triathlon. So,
what did your doctor say?
Well, after he lifted his jaw off the floor, he said yes. Obviously, he couldn't refuse to sponsor me at that stage.
Yes.
So, having been through everything else together, me and Liz said she'll do it with me. So we both did the triathlon together, and we raised money for the air ambulance that saved my life. So
that's so sweet.
That was a great achievement, a great goal to have got to the point where I could, not only could do a triathlon but also help the incredible work of the air ambulance that saved my life. So I'm a big supporter of air ambulances now, obviously. So I think they do an incredible job. So that was my next big goal. And then once I'd done the triathlon, I thought, well, how far can I actually go? So I moved to Ireland 4 years ago. I said, well, how about a marathon? So I'll see if I could do a marathon.
You're crazy, Jason. After triathlon to run a marathon, I mean, who does that? I love that. I wonder how many people who are watching us right now, have you done triathlon? Have you done marathon? Just wondering, just please type below, have you done that? Because Jason, it's remarkable. You were told you will never walk again in your life. After that, you just stand up and you say, that's it, I'm going to do triathlon, and now I'm going to do marathon. I mean, it's remarkable.
Yeah, well, the thing is as well that although I was fairly fit, obviously I was fit before my accident.
Yes.
Having, my accident when I was kite-surfing, I was fairly fit and into a lot of sports, but I'd never actually run before. I didn't, even before my accident, I didn't really. I obviously ran a little bit, but running wasn't a big thing for me, and I'd never really been interested in running. But now I can run a marathon, so I suppose in terms of thriving crisis, and is really that, what happened to me. I just thought to myself, it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege to be able to walk. Most people just take it for granted.
Yes.
When you walk down the street, you wouldn't think I could walk. When you walk, everyone's walking around today, not thinking, I can walk. But to me, I thought, wow, I can walk. And then I thought, I can run. And I thought, wow. And I thought, well, it's such a privilege to be able to walk and run, then I should make the most of it and do a marathon. So I did.
Wow.
And then that was in 2017, and I thought, because at that stage, in 2017, when I did the marathon, I had a huge amount of publicity, because everyone in Ireland then know my story, and I got interviewed on the Ireland Breakfast TV, Ireland AM, and I was on the radio and I was in the newspapers and all over. There was a big Facebook article on 20,000 stories.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
I had this huge media pressure to do the
Yes.
marathon that year. I thought, well, you know, I've got all these people following me, all this pressure, and I just said, right, I've got to make sure I finish it. So I did, and you know, massive amount of publicity and things. But then I thought, well, can I do it without all the publicity? You know, I mean, just do it myself, you know, without everyone pushing me on or you know, all the attention. So in 2018, I thought, well, I need to prove it to myself that I can actually do it without all that.
Yeah.
So I did. So that was 2 years. I did 2017, all the publicity, and then 2018 to prove to myself I could do it on my own. So,
wow.
So I did that.
Wow. You see, again, as beautifully Maria says here, amazing, that shows the power of will. And this is so true. What you're proving right now, Jason, that you just need to have a really strong willpower to achieve something. And when you have it, you just go after that and you're unstoppable and you're empowered because you have something big in front of you. I love that. I really love that. So when you said first thing is about never lose hope. Whatever situation you're facing, whatever resilience you're going through right now, never lose hope. Second, you said always have a big goal, right? And I love these two tips. I think they're really, really powerful. So what would you say is the next thing? Is it the willpower, or what is the next thing people should remember when they're going through the resilient times?
Yes, it's that determination, tenacity, and just never give up. Just keep going and going until you reach your goal. But you know, if you've got hope, then you've got a big goal, then it's but it just needs your determination and, you know, just never give up.
Yeah.
And, but coming back to hope, you know, hope is so important for people with brain injury, especially. So I want to give something back now. You know, I've received so much from the universe. You know, I was allowed to keep living. I was allowed to walk again. You know, I've been allowed to live a normal life again. So I just now want to give something back. And so my idea now is to set up a trust to give people hope after brain injuries. So,
love that.
So the trust is called Hope After Brain Injury Trust, which if you look at the letters, it actually spells habit. Hope After Brain Injury Trust.
Oh, yes. I love that. Habit.
So I'm setting up a trust called Habit, and that will be able to, I'll be using that as a platform to tell my story. So, you know, people who've suffered brain injury, who might have lost hope, you know, they might have been told you'll never walk again, or you'll, you know. But if I can tell them my story and say, well, I was told that, but then I ran a marathon.
And triathlon.
You know, it might give them some hope. I don't want to give people false hope, you know, if they've really, you know, not able to do, you know, if they've actually lost a leg, or, you know, if they've had something that will prevent them running or walking again, then I just want people who have got the ability to realise that there's, whatever you're told, there's always some hope. And so that's what I want to do now, to give something back and, you know, help people get through these major challenges in their lives. And so the habit will be a way of telling that story. But also I'm thinking that I managed to overcome all these physical challenges that I would like to use the trust to give money to anyone who needs money to achieve some major physical goal. So, you know, if someone needs money to enter a marathon, or needs money to climb a mountain, or to, you know, to do something amazing after brain injury, then I'd like to help people and support people to do that.
How wonderful is that? This is so remarkable. I mean, Jason, you overcame so many challenges, not only being in a hospital for 2 years, but also being in coma for 2 weeks and then being told you're never going to walk again. You run triathlon, then you run marathon, you learn how to cycle, how to swim. And now you're also setting up your own charity habit. I love that. You know, it will be really valuable if we can maybe share the link of your charity once everything is ready below this video and below the YouTube video. I'll make sure we can share with the audience so people can learn more, because you are right. There's so many people who actually are in this situation and they need to be inspired. And if you did it, I mean, if you were learning together with your own child, with your own baby, how to walk, so can do other people. If you were learning how to cycle, so can do other people. And I'm so impressed by your determination. As you said, when you're going through challenging, resilient, I know, times which are really pushing you outside of your comfort zone, remember everyone who's watching us right now, it is about never losing hope. Never lose hope, believe you can do it, and next thing, have a big goal, right? Have a big goal which actually will take you somewhere. For Jason, it was triathlon, then it was marathon. Now it is about setting up this charity. And also what Jason said beautifully is have a really high level of determination. Don't give up. Keep going. It's really important. Jason, I love these tips. I think it's so powerful what you're saying there right now. But do you have anything else to share before we wrap it up? Because we were here for quite a while and I'm quite amazed how, even though we had these technical difficulties, which again proves once more, right? Issues will happen in your life, but it is about how do you deal with them. Even though we did not manage to have Jason today on a video and audio at the same time, we managed to have Jason at least on the phone so he can share the story with us all the way from Ireland, right? So right now he's in Ireland, we're in Britain here, and he is with us. And at the very end of the show, I'll be very happy if he could come up on the video. But Jason, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up this show?
Yes. One last thing. I had these huge physical challenges that I managed to overcome. But what I'm left with now is, obviously, I've lost half my sight and I've got epilepsy. But the other big one is the cognitive challenges and issues, to do with logical thinking and planning and organizing. And, my brain is still suffering or still unable to achieve those things. So it's quite a nice coincidence that the terrestrial habit, because a lot of the cognitive issues that I'm now facing really come down to habit.
Yes.
To actually have habits that will allow you to achieve goals in terms of, planning and organizing and logical thinking and being able to see the big picture. A lot of that has to do with having the right habits. So after you've got hope after brain injury, then it's a matter of forming new habits. So,
yes.
So that's it. And if anyone wants to support me, I'm trying to get it started up at the moment. But I've got a Just Giving page to raise the money to get habit off the ground. So I've got to pay for things like registering as a charity and all those sort of legal aspects of it. But, I thought I'd do some crowdfunding on Just Giving and raise a bit of money to do that.
That is very true. Well, you see, if you could share the link, then I'm sure, and people will support, and I will support definitely personally as well. So you could share the link later on with me so I can put it below the video. That will be great, really wonderful. I love what you said there about the habit, that it is important to build new, strong habit which will support you in this journey. This is so important, and beautiful coincidence of actually having your charity name habit as well as the tip number 4. And it's a great gratitude here from Maria. We have a bit of interference here. Maria says, absolutely amazing interview. Thank you for sharing, Jason. Maria is very grateful for that. And then there's a question from Howard. He's asking, how do you balance hope with realism? False hope is not a good thing. And it's quite interesting how Maria is clarifying here. How do you know is a false hope, Howard? Do you have any opinion on this, Jason? What do you think about how can we balance the hope with something realistic? What if it is a false hope? What is if it's something what we can never achieve, but we are hoping we can achieve? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, in terms of our physical challenges or, things within the body, then if you're going to hurt one part of your body to help it repair, I think the brain is a part of the body that can always be reprogrammed and rewired. And, if you lost a limb, then, well, you can get prosthetic limbs, but you'll never be quite the same. But people who've been completely paralysed, if you break your neck or something, then I suppose hope. There's not much hope, although people still manage to lead very fulfilling lives and manage to survive with those major disabilities. But the brain is so flexible in plastic that if you damage your brain, you can keep a lot of hope that you can reprogram it. And there's a lot of research been done, and good cases show that the brain can be retrained. And for me, that was reading those stories and those books about plasticity of the brain that gave me hope and made me realise that I just have to keep working hard to retrain my brain. And I suppose riding a bike was a good example of that, where somewhere deep inside my brain I could ride a bike, and once I'd accessed that, then I rewired my brain. So but obviously false hope is not what I want to do at all. And it's a very fine balance. I suppose brain injury is a very uncertain outcome, and the doctor said you'll never walk again, but he obviously didn't know what the possibilities were. So I think when it comes to the brain, there's a huge amount of uncertainty, and so hope is part. If there's uncertainty, there's hope in a way. That as long as you've got some uncertainty, then there's always some hope hidden in there somewhere.
I love that.
The example I use is, what's the difference between a crisis and a disaster? And I'd say it's the same as the difference between trauma and death.
Yes.
In a disaster, there's no uncertainty.
Yes.
It's over. Whatever it is over. It's like dying. Done. It's gone. Whereas with a crisis, there's always some uncertainty. You just don't know, what could happen. And as like Winston Churchill said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Wherever there's some uncertainty, there's also some opportunity there somewhere.
Yes.
That gives you hope. So the main thing, I suppose, is uncertainty. Because wherever there's uncertainty, there's hope.
And this is so true. And what you said there about being either realistic or having a false hope, it's bravo to what you were saying about retraining your brain, because we don't even realize how big percentage of our life we actually live subconsciously, and we do things which we chose to do, whether we chose because we learned them and we still follow the path, or we chose them because we decided to change our behavior. And here I would say between realistic hope and something what is false hope is about the choice we make, right? So as Howard's saying here, for example, Maria, I hope that there are no more deaths from COVID-19, but I know there will be. And I think very important here to remember that some hopes which we have could be quite broad, and that could be, impacting, affecting so many people in the world. But then is that really affecting your life, right? How will that impact you, your behavior, your way of thinking, your way of actions, right? So here, if it really, really matters for you, for your life, for your own well-being, if there'll be more deaths in the world, then you got to really think how and why exactly that will impact you, right? And why do you choose to be impacted? Because even though we should be quite understanding and we should be caring, but at the same time it will not impact you so much. So here, let's remember that it's up to our own choices what we choose to have as realistic hope for us and what we choose to have being non-realistic. And the minute you make the choice, this one actually you can stick to the choice, and you can, if anything, definitely make yourself better by having a progress, just like Jason did. I mean, being told you will never walk again, you will never swim or cycle or play any sport game, and now Jason not only can walk and talk and cycle and swim, and he's right now inspirational speaker who is also setting up his own charity. And Jason, I'm so grateful for you coming onto this show. Even though we couldn't see you in our live studio, still we could hear your remarkable story. And if people would like to get in touch with you, to book you to speak at the event, or maybe even just to learn more from you, how people can get in touch with you?
Well, my email is jasonlemasurier.com. Sorry, jasonlemasurier@gmail.com.
Just 1 second, Jason, because you came into the studio, let me just, if you can leave the studio and repeat the email again, because I had to reduce the volume because there was interference.
Yeah. So it's jasonlemasurier@gmail.com. Also on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I also have a website, jasonlemasurier.com. So you can find me on my website or email or LinkedIn or any of the normal ways to get in touch, and I'd be very pleased to hear from people and very happy to talk to anyone who wants to hear my story, especially people who've had a brain injury. If you can find any, if you know of anyone who's had a brain injury that needs to hear a story like mine, then I'm very pleased to do that. And but also, I've developed a workshop based around my recovery and my thriving in crisis. But I've managed to combine it with my PhD, which is on managing uncertainty. So I was saying before about the uncertainty of, wherever there's uncertainty, there's opportunity. And that's really what my PhD was on. So I'm combining my challenge and my accident with my PhD, and I've now developed a workshop for businesses and organizations that are going through crises, and how do they manage the uncertainty of the crisis and able to come out the other side. So I'm also running those workshops for free online at the moment. So if anyone's interested in my workshop and how it might be able to help the business come through crisis, then very happy to hear from you and help.
That is wonderful. I love this idea of the workshop. What we will do in that case, we will share the links, and I will definitely make sure I share your social media down below this video so people can connect with you and learn more about you, and especially about this workshop, which is everybody. It is free at the minute because of this lockdown situation, right? So if you really would like to upskill yourself, you definitely should be in touch with Jason and learn more. But Jason, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Howard here is saying, thank you so much, Jason. You inspire us. And I completely agree with Howard. You are very inspirational. And I am absolutely envious of your determination and you being so unstoppable. You are like that superhuman who is just, capable and able of achieving absolutely anything. Thank you so very much. And maybe if you would like to go onto the screen so we can give a little wave to our listeners who were staying with us. Thank you so much, everybody who stayed with us all this time. Really appreciate you because it's been challenging. It's been resilient, right? Let's call it this way, because we struggled to connect. We didn't struggle to connect. We struggled to hear each other on the show. So I'm really grateful that Jason actually still is on the phone with us and he was sharing his story. So Jason, do you think you can come onto the screen so we can give a little wave to our people who are watching us all this time?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, could you please come onto the screen? Could you re-enter the live studio so I can show you to the people so they can... There we go, and I'll reduce the volume. Yeah. I cannot hear you, but I can see you at least. So if you give us a wave. Hello, everyone again. This is Jason, and he was with us all this time. I'm so ever grateful that everybody was with us. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Jason, your story is extremely inspirational. I'm forever so grateful you were with us. So everybody who was with us, once more, thank you very much. Please connect with Jason, be inspired and learn more from Jason. He's just on another side of social media, right? Maria says, thank you both, and thank you very much, Maria. Thank you, everybody who was with us. Have a good day.